Okay, we're back for another video, and today we're going to break down division. What is division? What's the purpose of division? All right, well, think about it. If I had I have a pack of cookies, and say I have 24 cookies, and say I have 6 students, and I want each student to have the same number of cookies. So division is the process of finding out how many times one number is contained in another. So for example, if we had 24 cookies, I'd write 24 cookies. And I want to divide that into 6 students. All right, so I would divide by 6 students. The 24 is going to be what's called the dividend. That's the number being divided. My divisor, number 6 right here, that's the total students I have. Remember I said I had 6 students. So this is the number I'm using to divide by. And when I do 24 divided by 6, what do you get? You get 4. All right, 4 is my quotient. That is my answer. So I have a pack of 24 cookies. I have 6 students. I don't want some to only get 1 cookie, some to get 2. I don't want to have to break cookies in half. I want them all to have the same amount of cookies. And so I had to take 24, the total of cookies I had, divided by the 6 students I have, and every student will have 4 cookies. So Sally can't say Bob has 6 cookies. Fred has 5 cookies and I only have 2. No, Fred, Bob, and Sally all would have 4 cookies. So when we divide, what is division? Again, process of finding out how many times one number is contained in another number. We have 3 parts to a division problem. We have a dividend, the number being divided. You have a divisor, that's the number being used by. Sometimes you can also see it 24 divided by 6. All right, this is the same example here. All right, if you want to even, I'll throw this in there just a little bit ahead. If you see an improper fraction, 24 over 6, that either gives me a whole number or a mixed number. This would mean divide. So again, I get 4. Every which way I write it, I get the same answer. All right, so you have a divisor, you have a quotient. Now there is 4 main parts to division. Some like to say 5 because they like to throw the word compare in there. And comparing is very important, but it is something that naturally your mind does. Okay? So, because you can say, well, that doesn't make sense. We look for a sensible answer. That's our comparing. All right, and I'll give you an example of that later. All right, but if we can remember, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. I like to say, dead monkeys stink badly. And I'm using badly because we're modifying stink, so a little bit of language here. So an adverb, all right? But dead monkeys stink badly. Divide goes with D. Multiply, that's my monkeys. Subtract, that's my stink. And bring down is badly. All right, so let's take these steps and put them to use. All right, so I have 276, and I want to start with just dividing it by 2. All right, so this is my dividend, this is my divisor, and we're going to see how many times 2 is contained in 276. So I start with divide. Can I ask myself, here's kind of where your comparing goes into, can 2 go into 2? Sure, 2 times 1. So I put a 1 there. I like to put a little multiplication sign there because I'm dividing and I'm multiplying. Step 2 is multiplying. So 1 times 2 is 2. Now I have to subtract because those monkeys stink. 2 subtract 2 is 0. I have to bring down. It's great to bring your arrow down to the equal line here. So 7. So now I have to compare. How many times can 2 go into 7? And I start all over again. I'm dividing. Can 2 go into 7? 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 is too big, so I'm going to use 3. And I'm putting it right above the number I'm going into. So now I multiply back. 3 times 2 is 6. Now I have to subtract, and I get 1. Now I need to bring down my 6. And I'm not finished because I have this number down here. And another way I know I'm not finished is because this number is larger than this number. So I have to divide again. So 16 now divided by 2. Well, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Right, 2 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16. I subtract, I get 0. Now I have to look, do I have any more numbers to bring down? I do not. So this one is finished. 276 is my dividend. 2 was my divisor. And 138 is my quotient, my answer. All right, let's look at another one. Let me put a couple more on here for us. All right, so I wrote 2 more problems up here. I have 450 as a dividend divided by 5, my divisor. All right, again, I like to put my little multiplication sign up there. We're going to do divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Dead monkeys stink badly. And over and over until the whole problem is finished. All right, so I start here. Can 5 go into 4? Well, of course not. 5 is larger than 4. So I have to go to 45. Well, if I know my 5s tables, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That means 9 times. So I'm going to put a 9 right above the 45. Notice my 9 is above the 5. Number alignment is super key when doing any kind of math problems. So now I multiply back. 9 times 5 is 45. I'm going to subtract. 45 subtract 45 is a big 0. But I'm not done because I have a number to bring down. Now, can 5 go into 0? No, because 5 times 1 is 5, which is too big. But remember, anything times 0 is always 0. So if I put a 0 here, now I have 0 times 5 is 0. 0 subtract 0 is 0. I do not have any more numbers to bring down. So my dividend, divisor, quotient. We like to use mathematical, academic vocabulary. We don't want to just be like, well, what's the answer? All right, we want to know the quotient. Just so, for example, if we go to addition, we have a sum. If we go to subtraction, we have a difference. If we go to multiplication, we have a product. So in division, we have a quotient. All right, so here's another dividend of 824, a divisor of 4. So let's put our little multiplication sign up here because we're going to divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. All right, now I ask myself, can 4 go into 8? Yes, 4 is smaller than 8, so let's do my 4's tables. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So I put a 2 right above the 8. And I multiply back. 2 times 4 is 8. And I subtract. 8 subtract 8 is going to give me 0. Now I'm going to bring down my 2. 4 can't go into 2. So I have to use that anytime 0 is 0. So 0 times 4 is 0. What's to subtract 0? 2. Now I need to bring down my 24, and I need to go back to dividing. So my 4's tables are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So 6 times 4 is 24. 24 subtract 24 is 0, and I don't have any more numbers to bring down. So this is single-digit divisors. I'm going to put 2 problems up here with a 2-digit divisor, but we're going to do it the same way. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then we start all over until our problem is finished. All right, so now I have 1,992 as a dividend. Don't let that number scare you. and I have 83 as my divisor. Well, I don't know. I know 83 times 1 is 83. 82 times 2, I can figure it out. 89 times 3, I can figure it out. But I do need somewhere to start with. So when it's 2 digits, I draw me a little arrow over here, and I use my rounding keys. And that rounding is 0 to 4, means you stay on the floor. 5 to 9, you jump to the sky. All right? Well, this 3 means I'm going to stay on the floor. So in my head, I can put 8, because I do know my 8's tables. 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, I know those in my head. All right, so I asked myself, can 8 go into 1? No, but it can go into 19, 8, 16, and 24. 24 is too big, but 8 times 2 is 16. So I need to do 83 times 2. All right? 8 gave me somewhere to start with to know to do 2, but my whole divisor is 83. So over to the side of my math problems, I do my scratch work. I work out 83 times 2. What's 2 times 3? 6. What's 2 times 8? 16. All right, 166. So I write 166. I put my 2 above this 9. Notice I have a number under each one of those. Sorry about the little bit of the glare. Let's see. Okay, it's a little better maybe. All right, so I'm going to subtract, though. Just listen to me if you can't see it because of the glare. 9 subtract 6 is 3. 9 subtract 6 is 3. 1 subtract 1 is 0. But I need to bring down. Remember, we divide, we multiply, we subtract, we bring down. Now again, I don't know my 83s in my memorized, but I know my 8s. And 8 can go into 33 how many times? 8 times 4, because 8 times 4 is 32. So again, let's do some scratch work. 83 times 4. What's 4 times 3? 12. Carry a 1. 4 times 8 is 32. Plus 1 is 33. All right, perfect. 3, 3, 2. Put this 4 right there. Subtract, and I get a big 0. Again, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Dividend, divisor, quotient. All right, let's look over here. We have 1,173. We're going to divide by 23. So we're going to use our little rounding rules. And if I look next door, that's why I drew this little arrow, because I'm looking next door. All right, and this 3, again, 0 to 4, stay on the floor. So we're going to put a 2 in my head. I know my 2's tables. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? All right, I know my 2's tables. 2 cannot go into 1, but 2 can go into 11. 2 times 5. So let's do 23 times 5. What's 5 times 3? 15. Carry a 1. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 1. That gives me an 11. Okay, 115. That works. So I put 1, 1, 5. I put my 5 right above the 7 because I went into 117. See, 115. Now I subtract. 7 subtract 5 is 2. Bring down a 3. Well, I know 2 goes into 2 one time, but I also should know that 23 times 1 is going to be 23, and that's what I need. So 1 gives me 0. So a dividend, a divisor, a quotient. All right, you got this.